With rumors of divorce swirling, you wouldn't think now would be the best time to post a breakup song to Instagram, but that's not.
What happens when two of entertainment's biggest personalities reportedly collide on live television and an interview suddenly takes an unexpected turn? This story explores a widely circulated account of a tense exchange on The View, where Joy Behar and Jennifer Lopez were said to have clashed during what began as an ordinary celebrity appearance. According to the story, the conversation quickly became far more dramatic than anyone anticipated. This was presented as much more than a typical celebrity disagreement. The reported confrontation unfolded in front of a national television audience, turning a routine interview into one of the most talked-about moments surrounding the program. Be sure to subscribe and leave a comment, because the story takes several surprising twists before it's over. Everything reportedly began with what appeared to be a completely normal interview. Jennifer Lopez arrived at the View studios wearing a cream-colored blazer, her hair carefully styled, ready to promote her latest project. The makeup was complete, the lighting was set, and the cameras were already rolling as the panel prepared to begin the discussion. Joy Behar sat in her usual seat with her notes organized, appearing ready for the friendly conversation everyone expected. "Welcome back to The View," Joy said with her familiar smile.
We're totally different people now, and we're the same. And we have the same love. 100%, like I'd never fallen out of love with you. I had just...
And we're here with the incredible Jennifer Lopez. Jenny, it's always such a pleasure to have you here. Jennifer smiled warmly before responding, "Thank you for having me, Joy. I love coming on the show." The interview opened with light conversation about Jennifer's newest business ventures, recent performances, and family life. Joy complimented her on her lasting success, remarkable work ethic, and enduring popularity, while the audience laughed, applauded, and enjoyed the easygoing atmosphere. At first, everything appeared completely ordinary. "So, Jenny," Joy continued, leaning forward slightly, "you've been in this business for decades now. You've seen a lot of changes, especially with how women are treated in entertainment. What's your take on cancel culture and accountability?" Joy asked. Jennifer Lopez's expression appeared to shift ever so slightly before she answered. "Well, Joy, I think it's complicated. I believe in accountability, absolutely. But I also think we need to be careful about destroying people's lives over mistakes or misunderstandings." Her response was calm, measured, and carefully delivered, but the atmosphere in the studio seemed to become noticeably more serious. Joy acknowledged the answer but appeared unconvinced. "That's interesting because there have been some recent stories about certain celebrities, and I'm wondering if you think there should be different standards for different people." The question lingered in the air, and the tone of the interview subtly changed. Jennifer remained composed and replied carefully,
Hey, baby. You know, I always have to mention the other Lopez woman who I love. You don't want to write yourself off.
Right.
You know, and if you're going to hide the fact that you've listen, a lot of people didn't get to 50.
Right.
A lot of people didn't make it, so celebrate for them. That's
Yes.
what I try to.
"I'm not sure what you're referring to specifically, but I think everyone deserves to be treated fairly, regardless of their status." The exchange continued with growing tension. Joy's smile appeared more restrained as she added, "Really? Because I've heard some interesting things about how certain people in Hollywood operate. People who might present one image to the public but behave very differently behind the scenes." The audience seemed to sense the change immediately. Jennifer's publicist, seated off camera, appeared uneasy, while the other hosts exchanged brief glances as the discussion became increasingly uncomfortable. "Joy," Jennifer responded, maintaining a controlled tone. "I'm here to talk about my work and my projects. If there's something specific to discuss, perhaps it would be better to address it directly." At that point, the conversation reached a pivotal moment. Rather than steering the interview back toward Jennifer's latest projects, the discussion continued in the same direction, setting the stage for an even more dramatic exchange according to the story being presented. I think our viewers deserve honest answers about the public figures they support, Joy continued. If there are questions about your reputation, shouldn't they be addressed? Her comments only added to the growing tension surrounding the discussion. Jennifer slowly stood from her chair, no longer hiding her frustration. My reputation? If the topic is fairness, then let's also talk about confronting a guest on live television with unnamed sources and unspecific claims. Let's also talk about inviting someone onto a program and then changing the conversation without warning. The audience remained completely silent as the dramatic exchange continued, with every eye in the studio fixed on what would happen next. Joy, appearing to recognize that the conversation had become increasingly difficult, attempted to clarify her comments. Jennifer, you were just what? Jennifer interrupted, her voice firm as she cut off the explanation. Trying to create a dramatic television moment? Trying to put another woman on the spot for entertainment? According to the story, the exchange immediately became even more intense as the audience watched in complete silence. Joy, a longtime television host, accustomed to asking challenging questions, responded with growing emotion.
It's not often you get a second chance at true love. We feel very...
Now, wait just a minute, she replied. I've been doing this job for years, and I have every right to ask tough questions. That's what journalism is about. The discussion had clearly shifted far away from the friendly interview that viewers expected at the beginning of the program. Jennifer answered with a restrained laugh before responding. Journalism? Is that what this is? Where are the sources? Where are the facts? Serious questions should be based on specific information, not broad claims or rumors. Her response emphasized the importance of evidence and clear reporting rather than speculation, adding another layer to the increasingly tense exchange. The other hosts reportedly attempted to calm the situation. Whoopi Goldberg began to step in with, "Ladies, maybe we should—" "No," Jennifer said firmly, raising her hand while keeping her attention on Joy. "Please explain exactly what you believe I've done." Joy continued by referencing reports about Jennifer's professional reputation and claims that had circulated publicly regarding her experiences on film sets. Jennifer immediately challenged those statements. Reports from whom? Name one person. Give one specific example. General claims without supporting facts shouldn't be presented as established truth. The studio atmosphere reportedly became almost overwhelming as Joy looked through her notes, searching for specific information to support the direction the interview had taken. Every moment seemed to increase the pressure inside the studio as the audience waited for what would happen next. Jennifer appeared genuinely surprised by the accusation. Special treatment? What specific example is being referenced? She asked. This conversation keeps moving from one broad claim to another without presenting anything concrete. The audience remained completely focused as the discussion continued to grow more intense with every exchange. Behind the scenes, the control room reportedly became increasingly busy as producers debated how to handle the unfolding interview. Despite the tension, the cameras continued rolling. Joy maintained that there were people who viewed Jennifer differently behind the scenes, but according to the story, she still did not provide specific names or verifiable examples to support those claims during the exchange. Then invite those people to speak publicly, Jennifer responded. If there are individuals with first-hand experiences, let them present their accounts directly. Serious discussions should be based on verifiable information, not anonymous rumors or speculation. According to the story, that challenge immediately shifted the momentum of the exchange, leaving the studio noticeably quieter than before. Joy appeared momentarily caught off guard, and the pause did not go unnoticed.
That's what I thought,
Jennifer continued. Without clear evidence, this conversation becomes more about creating headlines than finding the truth.
Imagine, you think, oh, like this is gonna solve everything.
Right.
And it doesn't. It gives them a whole different set of issues that they have to work out. And, it's just about, I just think that life is kind of beautiful that way, and that it balances out for everybody. And everybody has their struggles, and everybody has their journey to walk. And you think it's gonna be one thing, and it's another thing, and it has twists and turns. And all you can do is like, love each other through it.
The audience reportedly sensed the growing tension as every word carried more weight than the last. Joy quickly pushed back. My ratings? Let me tell you something about ratings. This show was successful long before your appearances, and it will continue long after this interview is over. Her response reflected growing frustration as the discussion moved even farther away from the original purpose of promoting Jennifer's latest project. Is that supposed to be a warning? Jennifer asked calmly. It's a reality check, Joy answered. You can't come onto this program and expect to challenge the host without consequences. Jennifer remained composed and stepped forward slightly as the exchange intensified, prompting an audible reaction from members of the audience. According to the story, it briefly appeared that emotions were reaching their highest point yet, although the confrontation remained verbal throughout. Jennifer then responded with another sharp remark. Professional reputations are built over time. The real question is whether today's conversation reflects fairness. Joy answered with criticism of Jennifer's long-established public image, but Jennifer immediately replied, "A lasting career comes from continued success. What reputation should viewers remember from this exchange?" The studio reportedly fell into complete silence. Joy appeared stunned for a moment as she looked across the set, seemingly recognizing how dramatically the interview had changed. According to the story, the atmosphere became almost impossible to describe, with every person in the studio waiting to see who would speak next. Finally, Joy broke the silence. You know what? I don't have to sit here and accept this kind of treatment from someone who believes they're above everyone else. Jennifer calmly folded her arms before replying. This isn't about being above anyone. It's about responding to serious claims with evidence instead of assumptions. If challenging questions are asked, fair answers deserve fair standards as well. That response reportedly left the studio speechless once again. Joy looked back with visible disbelief before asking, "Are you really trying to tell me how to do my job on my own show?" The tension had reached an extraordinary level, and every camera remained focused on what would happen next.
And then people started saying it anyway. You might as well just say it because somebody else is going to bust you, so you might as well say yeah.
But I noticed something when we were on tour is that it did something. I did it because I thought it'd be a fun way to celebrate such a big birthday, but it wound up doing something else. It put it out there for everybody that's like, this is nothing like to be ashamed of.
Joy struggled to respond. Someone needs to, Jennifer replied calmly. Because what just happened wasn't journalism, it wasn't entertainment, and it certainly wasn't professional. According to the story, that response immediately deepened the tension inside the studio. Joy stood with her hands tightly clenched, clearly frustrated by the direction the conversation had taken. Professional? Joy answered. You want to lecture me about professionalism? I've been hosting television programs since long before your career began. And experience only matters if it leads to better judgment, Jennifer responded. Time alone doesn't automatically make every decision the right one. The other hosts reportedly remained frozen, unsure how to step into a confrontation that had already moved far beyond an ordinary interview. Suddenly, Joy removed her earpiece and placed it forcefully on the table. That's enough, she declared. I'm done with this conversation. Joy, wait, Whoopi reportedly said, attempting to calm the situation. No, Joy answered, before turning back toward Jennifer. A guest came onto this program, questioned my integrity, criticized my work, and challenged how I do my job. That's not something I'm willing to accept. Jennifer remained composed. No personal attack was intended. The response was directed at claims that were presented without supporting evidence. If this discussion has become uncomfortable, perhaps it's worth considering how it reached this point. Her calm delivery reportedly made the atmosphere even more tense. "My behavior?" Joy replied. Legitimate questions were being asked. Jennifer answered firmly. Specific evidence was never presented. Serious questions deserve clear facts. Without them, viewers are left with speculation instead of information. According to the story, Joy then turned toward the cameras and addressed the audience directly.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was more surprised than us.
Yeah. No, but it is. No, seriously though. I mean, that's just, would you ever have imagined that it comes full circle and ends up like
No,
this?
you never could imagine something like that could happen.
I'm happy.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're happy.
This is what happens when celebrities refuse accountability. They criticize the person asking questions instead of addressing them. Jennifer responded immediately. Accountability requires something specific to answer. The discussion began with broad allegations rather than verifiable facts. That's an important difference. The exchange reportedly continued as producers signaled for a commercial break, but the conversation carried on uninterrupted. Every person in the studio appeared focused on the unfolding confrontation as the pressure continued building. Joy then lowered her voice and made another pointed remark about Jennifer's public image and family-oriented reputation. According to the story, that comment changed the tone of the discussion immediately. Jennifer's expression reportedly hardened. "Family should never become part of this conversation," she replied. "Professional disagreements belong exactly where they started, on professional topics." Joy continued questioning whether Jennifer's public image accurately reflected reality. Jennifer answered with visible emotion, but maintained control of her words. There is a line between discussing professional matters and making personal assumptions. That line has now been crossed. According to the story, members of the audience reacted audibly, while even the production crew appeared surprised by how quickly the interview had escalated. The atmosphere inside the studio became almost completely silent once the exchange paused. Jennifer then responded with another sharp criticism. "This isn't about success or popularity, it's about fairness. Constantly trying to diminish someone else's accomplishments doesn't strengthen an argument." Joy defended her long television career, pointing to decades of experience in broadcasting. Jennifer replied, "A long career deserves respect, but professionalism is measured by actions, especially during difficult moments." According to the story, that response left Joy visibly shaken as she looked around the studio, appearing to recognize how dramatically the interview had changed. "This has gone too far," Joy finally said, her voice noticeably quieter than before. "There's no reason to continue this." Jennifer simply nodded. Ending the discussion is always an option when productive conversation is no longer possible. According to the story, Joy collected her belongings and announced that she was leaving. The audience reportedly reacted with surprise as she walked toward the exit before briefly turning back for one final remark. Jennifer remained standing without responding immediately. After Joy exited, silence reportedly filled the studio. Jennifer calmly returned to her seat, adjusted her blazer, and looked toward the remaining panel before saying, "Perhaps it's time to return to the reason for today's interview and discuss the new project." The unexpected closing remark reportedly brought an extraordinary confrontation to a quiet and unforgettable ending.